So it makes sense that if Matthew did use Mark as a source, because Mark, according to church tradition, is the inspired record of Peter's preaching. The early church was convinced. Mark wrote down accurately what Peter would have preached. So Matthew would have been smart to use that gospel because he's getting now Peter's information to events that Peter was a witness that Matthew wasn't privy to. And then in the Didache, if it's containing the oral sayings of Jesus now written down, why not use it when those sayings of Jesus are now written down and Matthew has access to a written record? So there is no problem with Matthew using these sources if you understand it in the context. So I just wanted to clarify that, brother.
All right. Yeah. Sam, I don't want to go too long on this. We're roughly halfway.
Yes. If you want to do part 2, I can come back. It's up to you, brother.
Yeah, if that maybe next week. I don't want to go too long because I try to make the sessions slightly short on my own channel, so make it a bit more accessible for people. But this one, he makes the argument here that Matthew borrowed from the Didache, and I got this here on the... That's just one scholar. There's numerous that I will mention. So I'll finish this slide. So the common ending of the Lord's Prayer, "For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever," is not in the earliest gospel manuscripts, but it is in the Didache. "For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory forever" is not in the earliest gospel manuscripts, but it is in the Didache. So the earliest evidence of the Greek Bible manuscript supports the exclusion of the phrase, while its widespread presence in later manuscripts means that the phrase cannot be discarded lightly because they got it from the Didache. Does that make sense, Sam?
Yes. So understand, right? You guys are catching the implication. The Didache was so important that it was considered a reliable source on the sayings of Jesus, because written in the time of the apostles, that when the Didache was consulted and they saw the Lord's Prayer and it had that phrase at the end, that other scribes took it for granted that this is containing an older form of the sayings of Jesus, and thereby we need to include that phrase in the copies of Matthew and Luke that have the Lord's Prayer. Do you understand what the implication? This actually is arguing for the historicity and the early dating of Didache, that even the Christians realize this is such an important document because it's written in the time of the apostles to their churches, and so that we can trust that it's giving us accurate, authentic sayings of our Lord, which is now being written down before the Gospels recorded the sayings of Jesus. This is the implication.
I mean, this is huge. I mean, for its dating, for its authenticity, historicity, it's incredible. I mean, this is incredible, you know.
Yes. I just want them to get it because Lloyd is getting it and I'm getting it what he's saying. And by the way, Lloyd will tell you, I'm hearing this presentation first time. I'm understanding implication, but sadly, we're going to have trolls. See, now that's why I clarified it. See, Greece says, now I understand the connection. Sadly, we have trolls in the comment section who want to cast aspersions on our faith. So they're going to take his words in mind and distort it, misrepresent it. That's why I'm clarifying it, brethren. Understand the implication of what is being said. So go ahead. I
mean, look, this contradicts Martin Luther, which obviously proves that the early church was wrong.
Oh my goodness. You're going to be very well loved by the Protestants, I can tell you that.
I mean, it's obvious because it's clear that the Catholic Church corrupted the church within the first 30 years, within the first 20 years. The Catholic Church corrupted the church, introduced false doctrines that contradicted Martin Luther.
100%. Yeah. Remember, Allah is majestic. He got the Jesuits into the time machine to go back to these documents and corrupt them. What, you doubt Allah and his messenger? Ya kafir?
Sam, I've told you, Allah works in mysterious ways.
Think about it, yeah.
So scholars have generally concluded that its presence in later manuscripts of Matthew, and hence the King James Version, is by the influence of the Didache. Right? Now look, you can find scholars that will prove to you that dogs only have 3 legs and eat carrots. Okay? You can find a scholar that will prove to you anything you like, that ice cream is the best food to have and you should have it 5 times a day. Right? You can find, seriously, you can find scholarship to prove literally anything, or you can misquote scholarship. So, but that said, look, you'll find there are scholars that want to make this a completely false document written by the Nazis in a basement in 1941 because they want to discredit Christianity. But understand, there is credible scholarship that says this, all right? So, this ending is called a doxology or hymn of praise, and it is missing from the version in Luke and from the earliest Greek manuscripts of Matthew. Matthew drew on the Didache at a late stage in its development.
Yeah.
So things that are missing early on appear later, but they were in the Didache. So I thought that would be interesting. There's only 26 slides, but we are now at slide 15. Actually, it's crazy that 26 slides I thought would be done by now, but it's actually been a great conversation. Sam?
No, there's too much information. We need to tread lightly because you see some people took them a little bit longer to get it. That's fine. I mean, that's not an attack on you. So this is why I'm interrupting him, and he doesn't need me for this session. So I thank him for bringing me on. I want to make sure you understand what he's saying. He's clear, but we need to hear something repetitively. Let me just make that one point again, and we can come back for a part 2. And by the way, God willing, he's on my channel tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, yeah.
And tomorrow we're going to be talking about whether Hitler's a Christian. Is that right?
Yes. We're going to kill that one dead.
Do me a favor, though. Send me a thumbnail today, if you can, so I can then set it up. So God willing, tomorrow, Thursday, well, what time is it going to be my time? 10:30, so that's 12:30.
7:30 my time in Warsaw.
So 2:30 p.m., 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time, Michigan time. He's on my channel. Was Hitler a Christian? But let me just reiterate what he's saying here.
1:30, isn't it, Sam?
Well, no, because they go by Eastern Standard Time. My time is not Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
My time, 11:30, would be Pacific time. So most people go by what's called Eastern Standard Time in America. So I got to give them Eastern Standard. So Eastern Standard Time is New York time, Michigan time, 2:30 p.m. Now, let me just one more time repeat what's being said. If Matthew is using Didache, which is the viewpoint of some of these scholars, let me just make it clear so you don't misunderstand. If Matthew is using Didache, why would Matthew use Didache if he's an apostle? Well, he is an apostle, and he did write the gospel, and he's an eyewitness. Then why use the Didache? Because, as I said, Matthew himself shows that he wasn't privy to many events in the life of Jesus. Read Matthew, you'll see. Let me repeat this again. Peter, James, and John were witnesses to miraculous events in the life of Christ that the rest of the apostles were not.